Thanks for joining us on the Poetry Spotlight. Let's get lost in some beautiful writing. Today, we're taking a closer look at um, a really powerful poem by a significant South African poet. It's called First Day After the War by Mazisi Kunene. And our goal here really is to try and get to the heart of this poem. Its setting, the feelings, the message, especially for you if you want to grasp these kinds of complex ideas, well, quickly and clearly.
Yeah, and it definitely helps to know a little bit about Kune himself, just to appreciate the poem fully.
Yeah.
Mazisi Kunene, he was born in Durban, South Africa back in 1930, grew up immersed in Zulu culture, which had these incredibly rich oral traditions. That's important. He studied in South Africa first, then went over to the UK initially for his doctorate. But things changed. His focus shifted pretty dramatically towards, well, liberation politics. He got really involved.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just about academia for him then.
Not at all. It became much more urgent, more personal, you could say. He ended up becoming the ANC's, that's the African National Congress, their chief representative in the UK. So he was right there, representing the struggle against apartheid on an international level.
Wow, that's quite a shift.
Definitely. And when he finally returned to South Africa, he worked very closely with key ANC figures, people like Moses Mabhida and Oliver Tambo. He was really in the thick of it.
That deep involvement, living that struggle, it must have just poured into his writing.
Absolutely. You can feel it. His poetry really became this vehicle for expressing the history of suffering, the struggle of Black people against colonialism, against apartheid. But what's fascinating, I think, is how he blended that with those Zulu oral traditions, the storytelling. And First Day After the War, specifically, well, he wrote it during the apartheid era. So it's this active imagination, this vision of what democracy would feel like when it finally came. He sadly passed away in 2006.
Right, so he was envisioning this future peace while still in the midst of the struggle. Okay, well, with that crucial background, let's just listen to the poem. Let's absorb the rhythm and the pictures it paints. We heard the songs of a wedding party. We saw a soft light coiling around the young blades of grass. At first we hesitated, then we saw her footprints. Her face emerged, then her eyes of freedom. She woke us up with a smile saying, "What day is this that comes suddenly?" We said, "It is the first day after the war." Then, without waiting, we ran to the open space, ululating to the mountains and the pathways, calling people from all the circles of the earth. We shook up the old man demanding a festival. We asked for all the first fruits of the season. We held hands with a stranger. We shouted across the waterfalls. People came from all lands. It was the first day of peace. We saw our ancestors traveling tall on the horizon.
Just hearing it read like that, you really get that sense of release, don't you? That immediate shift, that feeling of relief and this kind of growing joy. That's where he starts, right from the first line.
It really does land with this feeling of something completely new starting. So let's unpack it a bit. In simple terms, what's happening here? What's this first day all about?
Well, fundamentally, it's like a dream put into words. It's Kune imagining, really feeling what that first day of democracy in South Africa would be like. It's describing this incredible explosion of joy, this huge collective celebration, picturing the end of apartheid, the arrival of freedom, people finally able to come together after all that conflict, all that oppression.
Yeah.
And the voice, notice it's always we. It's not one person's story. It's everyone's together, sharing this massive emotional moment.
That we feel so significant. It really underlines that it's a shared thing, a national thing, not just personal relief. And you're right, the feeling is just overwhelmingly positive, celebratory. How does he build that mood? What words really stand out for you?
Oh, there's so many great choices. But look at line 1, songs of a wedding party. I mean, right away, it sets this joyful tone. A wedding is about union, right? Coming together. So he links the end of the war apartheid with this happy joining, like a new beginning for the whole nation.
That's a great point.
Then you get things like eyes of freedom and that smile. They're simple, but they just radiate liberation and happiness. It feels gentle, too.
And the word ululating, that's such a specific sound. It feels very active, very alive.
Exactly. It's onomatopoeic, isn't it? You almost hear the celebration. Ululation is such a powerful expression of joy in many African cultures, so it makes the feeling immediate, almost physical. It roots the joy in a real cultural act.
Right.
And then you have words like festival, first fruits of the season. They suggest abundance, a fresh start, community gathering, and held hands with a stranger. That speaks volumes about reconciliation, doesn't it, after being forced apart?
Yeah, breaking down barriers.
Exactly. And then just the simple word peace. All these words together just layer up to create this incredibly powerful sense of collective happiness of starting over.
It also feels very direct, like someone's telling you this amazing story right after it happened.
Mm.
That little bit of dialogue.
Yeah.
What day is this that comes suddenly? And the reply, it is the first day after the war. It feels so immediate, like you're right there hearing it.
It really does. It pulls you right in. And that feeling, that immediacy, is also built through some really striking imagery. Kunene uses metaphors brilliantly to make freedom feel like something you can almost touch.
Okay, so what are some of those key images or metaphors that really stick with you?
Well, we mentioned the wedding party right at the start. That's a big one, an extended metaphor, really. It compares the end of apartheid celebrations to a wedding. And just like a wedding unites people, maybe two families, this event unites the entire South African nation, forming that idea of the rainbow nation that Archbishop Tutu spoke about later, diverse people coming together.
That's a powerful connection.
And the title itself, First Day After the War, that's a metaphor too. It frames the whole apartheid era as a long, brutal war. So the coming of democracy isn't just political change. It's like the first day of peace after years of fighting. It gives it that weight, that significance.
And the way freedom itself is described. Her face emerged, then her eyes of freedom. She woke us up with a smile. It's personified so beautifully.
It really is. Freedom isn't just an idea. It's presented as this gentle, almost motherly figure. She's awakening people, bringing life and hope after all the harshness. It's not a violent image of takeover. It's tender, hopeful. Like freedom is this natural, life-giving force returning.
Yeah, it's striking. And then there are these other images that feel very grounded, maybe in his rural background, like the soft light coiling around the young blades of grass.
Exactly. That paints such a clear picture of a new dawn, doesn't it? Very gentle, very natural.
And ran to the open space, that sense of release, of being unconfined.
Yes. And ululating to the mountains and the pathways, bringing the whole landscape into the celebration. Even mentioning the old man demanding a festival that connects it to community tradition, to the elders.
And that final line is incredible. We saw our ancestors traveling tall on the horizon.
Oh, that line gives me chills. It's so powerful. It connects this moment, this victory, to everyone who came before, who suffered and fought for this. The ancestors are there, witnessing it, approving. It adds this spiritual dimension, this sense of historical fulfillment.
Right.
So those images, the soft light, the young blades of grass, the first fruits, they become symbols, don't they? Symbols of this new dawn, this new beginning for South Africa, rooted in nature and tradition.
So if we bring all these elements together, the feeling, the words, the images, what's the core message Kunene is trying to share here? What does it all mean for you listening now?
I think the main message is one of profound hope. It's about that deep, universal yearning for freedom. And crucially, it's about the sheer joy and the incredible sense of unity that comes when freedom finally arrives after oppression. The poem really celebrates that triumph, and it paints this incredibly vivid picture of reconciliation, of people from all the circles of the earth, all different backgrounds, finally coming together in peace. It shows the resilience of hope.
And that constant we just hammers home that point about unity, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It keeps reminding us this isn't just one person's freedom, it's a collective liberation.
A shared experience, a shared future.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And even the way the poem is written in free verse without strict rules.
Yeah.
Well, that itself kind of mirrors the theme, doesn't it? The poet is free from rigid structures, just like the people are being freed from oppressive laws. The form matches the content. It's beautifully done.
That's a fantastic insight. So wrapping up this look at Kunene's First Day After the War, it really gives us this vibrant, deeply felt picture of hope, celebration, and coming together. It's like a snapshot of what liberation feels like.
Exactly. The poem really aims to show you, to make you feel that excitement, that immense joy at the thought of a democratic South Africa. It portrays this new nation being born from struggle, but leading towards healing and togetherness. It's like a poetic vision for how a nation can be reborn.
And thinking about that leaves us with a question maybe for you to ponder. How do these big moments of collective celebration, whether they're real events or imagined ones like in the poem, actually help a society heal? How do they help people move forward after really difficult times, after conflict? What is it about that shared joy that's so important for a fresh start? Well, that's all for today's Poetry Spotlight. Hit like for the poem that speaks to you, and subscribe for the ones yet to come.